It's Ash from SuperVideos back for another video for The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at something that I feel has been frustrating a lot of fans for the spin-offs, especially The Ones Who Live, and that is how they are killing off most of the supporting characters that they introduce, especially the ones that are actually interesting characters that they're bringing in. Why kill them? So stay tuned, we'll be right back to break this down. Alright, as always, before we dive into it, smash the like button, subscribe to join our community, and press the bell to be notified when I upload on the channel. With that said, let's dive right into it. Now, first things first, I do want to make this clear that it's not only The Ones Who Live that suffers from this. We've seen this in the Dead City spinoff, as well as the Daryl Dixon spinoff, although it's more apparent in the Dead City spinoff, with killing all of the side characters, basically. They did do that in Daryl Dixon as well, but it wasn't in your face. But of course, in The Ones Who Live, it appears to be more in your face. How they're basically killing off the supporting characters. Because let's think about it. How many supporting characters are there? There's Major General Beale, we have Jadis, we have Pearl, we have Okafor, we have Bailey, we have Aiden, and we have Nat. And from these 7 characters, they have killed off 4 of them. And let's not forget, we're only 2 episodes in. And from the characters that remain, we have Jadis, who also is borderline being the main character and a supporting character, so I might not even consider her. But other than her, we only have Pearl and Major General Beale. And that's definitely crazy to kill off that many secondary characters. And it gets even worse when we look at who they actually killed off. Let's start with Okafor. Of course, Okafor's death was freaking awesome. It was explosive, literally, and it was definitely shocking. So it was definitely awesome to see. But at the same time, given how complex and multidimensional his character was, I feel like it's a missed opportunity to kill this character off this early in the first episode. And I would honestly say that he's one of the most interesting and intriguing non-comic characters that they've introduced in a long, long time. So to kill him off this early like that was definitely a big blow. And he was a fan favorite in the short amount of time that he was there. So I feel like this was the first what are they doing moments, because they killed off a character that had a lot of potential. They underutilized him. Now, underutilized is not even the right word because he was only in 1 episode. I don't even know if that's the right way to phrase it, but he was definitely underdeveloped. But the development that he got was fantastic. Next up, Nat. Nat was definitely one of those cool, awesome characters that reminded us a lot of other cool characters like Eugene, who had the brain, but also he was funny. And there was a lot of moments where he reminded us of Negan, just throwing jokes out there. So I feel like he was the second supporting character that they killed off that was actually an interesting character, a character that they could utilize for a lot of interesting stuff. Let's not forget, he was an engineer, so there was a lot of things that he knew how to build that would have helped a lot in a big war that might be coming up with CRM. And if we consider what could have been if he was ever in the same room with Eugene, things could have been interesting and things could have definitely been great for the survivors as far as building or crafting something fantastic that could take down the CRM. So he was definitely another character that was underutilized significantly, and I feel like they could have done a lot more with the character. But of course, other than him, there was Bailey, who was not really an interesting character because we didn't really see him too much. He didn't say much. He didn't do anything interesting or exciting. Aiden, again, they didn't spend too much time with her and we didn't see a lot, but she was definitely one of those characters that could have become a more interesting character if they developed her more. She definitely got a very emotional death considering that she was pregnant. In the grand scheme of things, I would say Bailey and Aiden were two characters who were on the chopping block from the get-go. I mean, a lot of fans expected the two of them to be killed off because they were like C-listers. Their death was super interesting. I mean, the way they killed them off with the chlorine gas attack by the CRM was original and was something that we've never seen in the universe before. And it was definitely a pretty interesting and unique death for them to get. So, from that aspect of things, it was great because they were two characters that we expected to die and two characters that they actually killed off in a very interesting, unique way. And their death was definitely emotional. With Aiden, it was emotional because she was pregnant. And with Bailey, I would say the emotion came from his connection to Nat and Nat's reaction to seeing him die and everything and not being able to put him down. Outside those two characters from that group, I feel like Nat was one of those who was underutilized and they could have done a lot more with him. And he would have been a pretty awesome character to keep for the war that will be coming up with the CRM. Now, there was this moment right after we discovered that Aiden and Bailey were dead where it felt like they're gonna have it so that Nat also kills himself. And I'm glad that they didn't do that because that wouldn't have been quite as original of a death for this cool character. I'm glad that they kept him at least so he gets that shocking death by getting shot by the CRM soldier. So from that perspective, it was definitely great that they at least gave him a shocking death over a cliche emotional death, if you know what I mean. But just to recap, I think Nat would have been a great character to keep around. And the fact that they killed him off this early is definitely a blow as far as the longevity of this particular show. I mean, if there is a season 2, then they're gonna have to bring in more characters because they killed off two of the most interesting ones, Okafor and Nat. Now, when it comes to the group that they were with, of course, one section of the group that broke off ended up getting killed, with the three main ones being Bailey, Aiden, and Nat. But others are still out there, with Aiden's sister being the leader. Now, of course, we know that they're a group that doesn't wait. They don't stick around. They don't wait for people who are left behind. So that makes this group a little less interesting and a little less intriguing enough to keep around because there's just no loyalty there. No one really cares. But we do have that connection with Aiden, with her sister being the leader. So if at any point in the future they do want to bring them back, it could be an interesting way to keep some form of legacy from the three characters that they killed off, Aiden, Bailey, and Nat. And of course, with the CRM story, I feel like if they do end up killing Pearl as well, which I feel they will, then there's really no survivor from there that could potentially join the survivors later. But that's pretty much everything I wanted to go through in this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, smash the like button, subscribe to join our community, and press the bell to be notified when I upload on the channel. That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video.